Hi, my name is Joseph Morris, and I am the newest member of Project Live Fully. Josh invited me to become a part of this just recently. We met on the Tomorrow's Filmmakers course. If you haven't checked that out, that's worth looking into. It's pretty awesome. A good place for learning about cinematography and filmography and things of that nature. So Josh asked me to do an intro video for this, and honestly, it's probably going to be my worst video ever because it's my first one. And I just want to talk about where I'm at, what I'm working on, what I care about, what Project Live Fully means to me, and what I believe it can be. So yeah, I just want to be real. I just want to be honest because I didn't realize how difficult it was to make a YouTube video until I sat down to actually make one. And my goal was only 5 minutes, and that doesn't seem like much until you try to do it. And then it's kind of yeah, it's something. So Project Live Fully, what we're about is going after our dreams, going after things in our lives that, when you get to the end of your life, you don't want to have these regrets hanging over you. You don't want to have these things that you wish you had done, wish that you had said, places you wish that you had gone. There's things in my life I know that I wish that I had gotten to sooner. I wish I had gone after or believed in myself enough to try to accomplish. And I think that Project Live Fully for me is going to help give me that incentive to actually drive forward and to do something interesting, to do something fulfilling. And along the way, I really hope to inspire others to go after things. So a little bit about myself. I have a background in all kinds of arts. I've tried everything from writing to drawing to painting, sculpture, animation, many different things. And along the way, I actually realized that what I really want to do is tell stories. And I don't want to just tell a story for the sake of just making something. I want it to actually have weight, to have substance to it, to actually mean something. And that's what motivates me, and that's what drives me. And along the way, I started to realize I wanted to do the same thing for others also. I wanted to create a space. I wanted to create a platform, a resource, I guess you can call it, for other people who I ran into through my life, who they had an idea, they had a spark, they had a vision, they had a dream, they had something that they wanted to do, but they just didn't know how to get there because I was there. And along the way, I just started educating myself. I started finding resources that I thought were really good, that were really rich. I just dug into them. I just grabbed everything I could out of them. So some of the things I'm working on, some of the projects, the reason why they asked me to be part of this channel, I have a number of things actually, and they're all sequential. They'll kind of build on each other as they go. And I do have social media. I do have things like YouTube channel and Instagram and so on. They're just not live right now. A while back, I decided to take all the things that I had built over time and redo all of it, rework all of it, rebrand it. And so because of that, I don't have links yet, but I will. I'll put those here on the channel in the description when I have those prepared, when I have them ready to go. But what I'm actually building right now is a website, and it's meant to be a curated gallery for artists that I know in the area. I live in South Carolina. And I have some friends that are gifted in music and choreography. I'm getting into filmmaking myself, and I know people that are excellent essay writers. And so I have this idea to provide this platform, provide this resource where people can have an outlet where they can express themselves, where they can find a way to get that spark that's in them out. Other people can experience it. And also for there to be cross collaboration and a way for people to work together on projects that may not have ever existed because they never knew each other. So that's the hub. And then also maybe a blog as well, where I talk about my perspective on art and various things and what I'm working on, the way I see the world, and what I think is important in the world. And then from that, attached to it as well, I have a music label that actually goes way back for me. I used to actually play at raves and do EDM and what they call live PSA, experimental electronic music. So that's also part of who I am and what I do in sound design and cinematic music, that kind of a thing. So that also plays into it. But I have this label Same thing, but it's music mostly. There is some spoken word on there as well. And eventually, the big goal from all of this, and this is something I have no idea how it's going to happen, is to build a school here in the area, like a fine arts center, a really nice place. I mean, I was actually back in college, I wanted to go to SCAD. I wanted to go to Savannah College of Art and Design, and that I just didn't have the money for it. That wasn't going to happen for me. So I went to another community college. Actually, had some good courses there though, and in graphic design, architectural engineering, but I didn't finish. So this is also part of the story. That's why I'm putting these things in here. But I want this school to be available for anyone who can't afford a traditional art school, for it to be available for people, at low cost, and a place where they can come, and if they just have an idea or something they want to do, something that's a dream of theirs, a place where they can practice that, where they can get their hands on equipment and get their hands on classroom workshop environments and actually do something. Now, granted, we live in a weird time right now with COVID and everything else that's happened, and so I have to look at these plans also through that lens, because I had these things in my mind for honestly like 15 years now, and they started to kind of coalesce over time. But now things are changing, and the world is different. How we do things is different. So as we go, and this is part of the documentary process, is what does this mean for right now? So this is a snapshot of where I'm at. This is a snapshot of, okay, here's the idea. Here's what I thought it was going to be. What is it going to be? I don't know. And me and the other people that are on this channel are all in that same journey, all going the same direction. Not same direction necessarily, but we have different things we're working on. And so I have the school, and then from that I also want to start having conferences in the area, or seminars and workshop and performances to showcase all of this. But the idea is to foster community and togetherness and working on things together. That's really what my heart is. And so a little bit about myself that people don't always know. One is I'm on the spectrum, and I was never officially tested. But it has affected my life. It has affected the way that I've dealt with things. And if you're watching this video, maybe you can pick up on some of these things, the way that I handle myself, the way that I react to the world. It's really honestly, it's weird for me to sit here and talk to a camera. It's an odd experience for me. But I do want to at least tell my story so I can inspire somebody else. So in my life, I've been through depression and passive aggression, and like I said, issues with being on the spectrum. And it has shaped the way that I react and the way that I think about the world and the way that I, handle myself day to day, and how I think about things creatively. It has benefits, of course it does, but it also has drawbacks, things that make it difficult for me. Being neurodivergent is it's a challenge, and I believe I've come a long way from where I used to be when I was younger. I was paralyzed by social anxiety and all these things when I was a kid, and I want to tell you this because somebody out there has the same kind of problem. Somebody out there has walked a similar path. And I could have been somebody that was so overwhelmed by not being able to do things in the way that I wanted to, or being overcome by OCD or perfectionist tendencies, that I never would have gotten anything done. But I have this drive in me to create. If I don't create, I shrivel up inside. I get dry. I get life loses its shine for me. I have to create. I have to do something, and I like to create all kinds of things in all different ways. I like to tell stories. Like I said, I'm a storyteller. That's what's important to me, to tell stories. But I don't want to do things the same way every time. That really, really drives me insane. I want to have variety. I want to be able to do things in multiple ways and create this kaleidoscopic, just a panorama in a way of all different ways of seeing things and reacting to things and telling stories. And that's where I like to come from. Multicolored, multivaried. So coming from this background, coming from my issues and this drive to create, I also have this drive in me to help others create. And so that's part of why I'm doing this project. I've gotten a new job right now. I just started a couple weeks ago. It's pretty intense. It's good. and it's intended to help me actually have more time to create. And it was the kind of job I was looking for. It's better money, less hours, more time. But right now, it's really intense as far as training goes. So also along the way, I'm putting this out there to be as honest as possible. I need help with time management. Like, I've been watching some really awesome YouTube videos and digesting some things and going through some concepts that are helping me. But I'm finding that that's really, really important, is to have a plan and a method and some kind of a schedule. You know, I mean, maybe it's not every day, but do something, create something, sit down and at least put your ideas down on, if not on paper, on your phone or somewhere. Put it out there and get it out of your head, out of your heart, and put it out in front of you so you can see what you're working with. Because one thing to have an idea, but then you have to start thinking about, okay, how do I make it happen? How do I actually go forward with this and create something? And how do I sustain that? For me, I believe if you're going to be a creative person, if you're going to be somebody in the world who makes something, who tells a story, maybe somebody just has a story they tell one time. Maybe that's the best that they've got in them, and their whole life is for one moment, you know, and that's okay. That's all right. But I believe that there should be a way to sustain it, a way to keep it going. And that's what we run into so many times is, okay, I got this idea, I did something, but I don't know if I have the energy. I don't know if I have the drive, or we get rejected, or we don't do as well as we thought we were going to, or as well we wanted to, you know? So that's tough. Those are hurdles. And I know there are countless people in the world who deal with these things. I do too. So along the way, I want to tell my story about what I'm doing and what I'm after and how it's going. And for right now, what I've done is I've taken and put into little bite-sized chunks. So the first thing I'm doing is I'm making a series on Instagram of short 1-minute themed videos, kind of mini films that tell a story in just a minute, like 1 minute long, and that's it, no longer. And everything in it, all the filming is done by me, the music, everything, the recording is all put together by me, mastered, color graded, all those things. And I want to tell a little story, even if it doesn't really have a lot of depth. I want to tell a story in that format weekly as an Instagram video, just to see what I can do, to push myself, to challenge myself. And every week it has to be a different thing, it has to be a different theme. And the reason I'm doing that is I'm learning the platform, I'm learning how to be consistent, I'm learning how to schedule things, learn how to plan, pushing my creativity, pushing myself not to be stagnant, static, you know, actually doing something, trying to do something, you know, on a consistent basis. And I'm also learning the tools. I'm learning new techniques. I'm learning how to do things. So I might come up with a video where it's like, okay, I want to do time lapse, you know. So I make a video that pushes me where everything is time lapse, you know, and I have to tell a story with all time lapse in a minute without it being boring, right? So that's number one. That is project number one. And I have one. The first video is, I didn't document at the very beginning of this process. I kind of came into Project Live Fully later on, but it's almost complete. But what I will work on here out is actually documenting the process of what I'm doing and doing more of a vlog style, and bring you guys into that process with me as well. So yeah, that's a little bit about myself. That's who I am and what I'm doing right now. And if you guys want to chat, you know, put something in the comments if you have anything to say, any questions, ideas, you know, encouragement. You know, if I encouraged you, maybe I did, I hope so, then I'd love to hear from you. And please click like, helps us out, subscribe, hit the notification bell, you know, all those things that help us with the YouTube algorithm. And we would love to build this fan base. We would love to build a base of people who are part of a community. That we want to do is not just talk about what we're working on, but we want to inspire you guys to do your own things, to work on your own projects. So we want to hear about that. If you have something that you've just got burning in your heart that you just want to get out there and do, good. You know, let us help you, let us encourage you. And so thank you for listening. Thank you for your time today. And wherever you're at, hope you have a good one.